This episode of Area Code Batavia is brought to you by 212 Degrees Construction Group, local and trusted remodeling. Hey everybody, this is Area Code Batavia, a podcast about what it means to belong in Batavia, Illinois. I'm your host, Richard Clark. Today on the show, a conversation with Joe Rund. Joe is the founder of the notorious local Facebook group, Things to Complain About in Batavia. My whole life I've struggled with the idea of positivity. Don't get me wrong, I like feeling positively about things, my friends, my family, my community, but sometimes the more positive I feel, the more I start to wonder if I'm missing something. This was especially true about my relationship with Batavia. If you're paying attention, you can feel that tension underneath the surface of a lot of my previous conversations for this podcast. As great as Batavia is, I fundamentally believe that there are dark realities lurking underneath the surface of every person, everything, every community. It's just a truth that I find hard to escape. And it's not like they overwhelm the positive side of things, it's just that they provide an important nuance that, to me, helps me appreciate the positive side of things. The thing is, I've never been particularly interested in being the one who exposes those things. That's why I jumped at the chance to talk to Joe Rund, who started the Facebook group on a whim and ended up finding himself managing one of the most unruly and controversial social media platforms in our community. But whether he intended to or not, Joe has given space to impoliteness, venting, frank observations, and even humor to rise to the top. And an important side effect of those things for me is clarity about what's really wrong in Batavia and even what sorts of complaints are just overblown. This Facebook group isn't for everyone. A lot of people aren't on Facebook, and I've had a lot of people tell me they just can't read it at all because it kind of bums them out. Honestly, I don't blame them. But for me, the group provides an antidote to the kind of surface level positivity that can often be bad for a community. Here's my conversation with Joe Rund. Enjoy. Can you describe for people the Facebook group that you run? It's called Things to Complain About in Batavia. So if people have not seen this, can you describe it for them?
So it kind of took off on its own. When I started it, it was supposed to be an alternate for what's happening in Batavia, because all the promotional posts on what's happening were getting taken off. So if somebody wanted to have a sale at their store, the admins would delete it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a different page where you can post whatever you want as long as it's in the form of a complaint. So like if Sturdy Shelter wanted to have a sale on beer, they could say, oh no, we have too much beer. We're going to have to sell it at whatever discount. Or, you know, like I have too much stuff in my garage. I'm going to have a garage sale. What a headache. And that was kind of how it was supposed to be. But then it kind of took off and it became an actual complaint page.
Right. So you started as this tongue-in-cheek kind of plausible deniability. This is not a copy of what's happening in Batavia.
Exactly.
We're just using a different format so that, and then people can play along.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the way you describe that now, if you were to do that, people would have gotten in the comments and said, that's not a real complaint. People would have been upset.
And people still do it. And there's, a guy I've known almost my entire life, Andrew, he'll go on there and he'll rate people's complaints. He's like, that's a 5 out of 10 complaint.
Right.
And it's like, he gets it. He knows it's a joke and he's playing along. But people will call out other people for it not being a complaint. And I'm like, all right, let's take it down a notch. It's not serious. And
so when you started it, were people very much doing the tongue-in-cheek thing? It was just kind of fun?
No.
And immediately,
maybe.
So what happened? You made a core mistake, which is you gave people on the internet permission to be negative and mean or whatever and cynical.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But then there was a lot of legitimate complaints, like the overabundance of mattress stores and river bugs and stink bugs. And
One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because I feel like the group itself is it's big. It's got how many people in it at this point?
Today I saw it was at 4,000.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people.
For a small hometown page,
And so it has a significant impact
on its own.
Yeah.
Just by existing. And what's really interesting to me and something I've been thinking about a lot is this idea of like Midwest nice.
Yeah.
And this thing where people are really polite. It's not just the Midwest, but especially in the Midwest where people can be really polite. And I've talked even on mic about like the mayoral race and how it was a very nice mayoral race to the point where you didn't really fully know what the differentiation was if you weren't really paying attention.
Right.
And so I'm interested in this because I think there's something valuable about giving people a space to complain.
I 100% agree. And I've had people tell me in person that I should take away the anonymous option to post.
Which I do agree with that, but go ahead.
Well, so
I'm sure that you've heard lots of opinions.
Where it comes in handy, though, is like if I had a bad time at a space and I wanted to vent and I want to go back there, I don't want to end up with spit in my food or I don't think people realize that I can click on those anonymous names
and you can see who
I can see who it is.
Does it tell the anonymous poster that they will be seen by you?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it says admins can see this.
So
but
there's
I don't
a
think
bit of a
nobody
moderating.
reads the fine print.
Yeah.
But it also comes in handy, maybe not so much the anonymous thing, but when people complain, like, the lighting in this space was bad or the music was too loud, then businesses can see it and be like, oh, okay, take that without being personally attacked by someone they might know.
Yeah.
They can.
Do businesses feel that way about it? Or do they just get upset?
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I hope they realize that I don't take sides really in anything on there other than, the river bugs and the stink bugs.
You're pro river bug.
I'm so pro river bugs. Yeah. It keeps my spiders fed. I'm not really sure how to say it, but I know it definitely has come in handy for certain events in town. You would have to ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the business. And it's interesting because I think, there's a number of ways in which it can be valuable for the people complaining, but also for the people who are being complained about, for the reason you just said.
Right.
I think, like, a lot of times people just don't say stuff to your face.
Right.
And the ability to know, I'm like bracing myself for the first time something I have to do with pops up on there,
Yeah.
But when it happens, I'll be like, okay, because I don't get any negative feedback.
Right.
And that drives me crazy. I do have some I have some 1-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. And that makes me insane.
For what?
I don't know.
Oh,
someone just did a 1-star
and
and said nothing. Cowardly. If you're listening, you suck.
Yeah.
But like that sort of thing, like I think there's just a real value in people having a forum for that.
Right.
It's interesting though. Like I'm curious if you have ever felt like, oh man, this is like I've created a monster kind of thing.
I did, especially when it comes to politics. I did make a rule on there, and I made a whole secondary page for people to be able to vent with their obnoxious, like,
Memes.
MAGA or, like, super pro-democracy posts. And I started a second page called Battle It Out Batavia, a complaint page spinoff or something like that. But I just deleted myself as an admin, so it was like a full free zone for whatever people wanted to post.
Terrifying, honestly.
But I had to create a place for other people to go to and post this stuff so they'd stop posting it on the complaint page because Facebook started like censoring and banning people and like really cracking down on groups, and I didn't want the complaint page to get taken down because certain members would just keep posting just like really hardcore one way or the other political ones. So I did want to really keep it local. I created one for Geneva and St. Charles and all that, but they never really took off, and that's mostly because I just kind of started it, put an admin or two on there, and then just kind of let it go.
Do you think that could work in those areas?
I mean, maybe. I feel like there's a lot more to complain about St. Charles and Geneva.
Yes. In my opinion.
Batavia's,
I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Batavia's cleaned up a lot. I mean, I've lived here my entire life.
Yeah.
On the same street, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the complaints that we get now are kind of silly. Like, I saw one today. It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek one that a police car pulled over the Dunkin' Donuts truck.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a really good one.
But I didn't understand the complaint.
I don't know. They were just bringing attention to
that
it.
Was one of the that was one of the old school.
And that's kind of a, like, if that was on the What's Happening page, it probably would have gotten either taken down or people, would blow it off.
When was the first time you felt you belonged in Batavia?
I don't know. I was getting a lot of recognition when I was at the bike store, all spoke up. There was a bike program. I think it's still here. Bikes for Batavia. A lady, Joanne Spitz, she was huge into that, and she would come down and she's a terrifying woman. She's the sweetest lady ever, but she wants 10 bikes for her family made, tuned up, you get ready for them. Then, she would crack the whip and I would get them done. But,
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
When I interviewed her for the podcast for Chip In.
Yeah, Chip In.
And she did not strike me as terrifying. But
she's
advocating.
Yeah.
She's advocating for people. I love that.
Oh, yeah. No, she's great. All the charity work that we did through All Spoked Up, we would help out a lot of people, and she helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when I was little, my mom was a foster parent.
Okay.
And we had literally thousands of foster kids come through our home.
Wow.
So
how many at one time?
Oh, we would have upwards of 15
wow.
in a tiny house on the east side.
How did you feel about it as a kid?
I mean, I was raised in it, so like
it was just normal.
It was just normal to me, and people were like, "Why do you have a sister for a month and then they go away?" I'm like, "How do you not?" Like, I just didn't get it.
Why don't you?
So I feel like that's kind of why I'm decent at sales, is I've interacted with every creature under the sun.
Right.
That's
really interesting.
And from time to time, I'll see an old foster kid around, and they still consider me family, and I love that. So I have family everywhere. The shirt I'm wearing right now, Heilman Roofing. I've known him literally since kindergarten. When my wife and I bought our house, he came over after the first hailstorm, which we have no shortage of here. Lots of complaints about the door-to-door and the salesmen for that. So Zach started this new company, and I definitely wanted to make sure that he gets a little shout out on the podcast. It's kind of hard to not feel like I belong here because I've been here forever, and I can't go anywhere without seeing someone I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the charity aspect, like helping out wherever I can. My wife volunteers a lot with Main Street, so Beth, I'm not on their volunteer sheet or anything like that, but they'll be like, "Hey Joe, we need some tables moved," or anything like that, and it's like, of course I'm going to help.
You're doing stuff,
yeah. No, it's great. It's such a small town feel, but it's growing, and it's really fun.
Like the levels of belonging you're talking about, you kind of started like helping other people belong, it sounds like, with foster kids and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's sort of in your blood a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be welcoming and warming because, these kids, you don't know where they came from. And most of them I never found out their stories, and some of them I did hear were terrifying. And that's kind of why, especially here at Sturdy, they're so nice and so welcoming to everyone. I can't imagine living in a community that isn't,
Yeah.
One thing I
can. I've done it, but...
Yeah? Where?
I don't know.
Just wherever.
It's definitely happened before.
Yeah.
I've lived in a number of communities. So.
Yeah. I've lived here, and then for a little while I lived in St. Charles.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I bought the house literally across the street from the house I grew up in, from a customer at All Spoked Up. And my realtor was a customer there, and, John Gamble. So, yeah, the small town feel is really nice, and I really enjoy it.
So you've talked a little bit about the reasoning behind starting the group. Can you talk about, was there a moment when you decided this group needs to exist? It does sound like it's tied to sort of you being online and recognizing that what's happening in Batavia wasn't working out.
Yeah, I just didn't like the censorship of the what's happening pages, and almost every town has a what's happening page.
Yeah.
And I do kind of think that the admin on those pages kind of uses it to promote their buddies' businesses or their friends' agendas.
Admin on the one in Batavia?
On any of them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the Batavia one was pretty bad. Any business owner will tell you that I'm outside of his close friends. Their posts were getting deleted. So I just didn't. I mean, I grew up listening to punk rock where censorship is bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't appreciate any of that. And it did definitely bring a lot of attention to the place I currently worked, or the place I worked at the time, which was the bike shop. And a lot of people coming in there, and they would say, "Yeah, it's really funny. Like, we really like that." And
yeah,
giving a place for people to vent was cool. And
yes,
I mean, I'll never be a punk rock artist or band, so that's like whatever.
That's your punk rock thing.
That's my punk rock thing.
Yeah.
Is that, and I used to ride BMX. So yeah, that's so hardcore.
If it's me, I would be like overwhelmed by the responsibility, especially with something so controversial. I've had like a couple episodes that I've published that I felt like maybe were going to be controversial.
Yeah.
And it was the most stressful weeks of my life.
Yeah.
Like getting those ready and anticipating. And then they're inevitably received really well.
Yeah.
But I am conflict averse, actually. Yeah. How do you relate to that? Like, is that something you struggle with?
Well, I mean, sandpaper's rough, and you need it to take off the rough edges on a piece of furniture.
Uh-huh.
You gotta be rough sometimes to get things done.
Yeah.
I'm a really patient person, so like someone can sit there and yell at me, and I'll try and just breathe through it. I really haven't had any super negative interactions with people over the page. Mm-hmm. Some posts have gotten pretty heated. Honestly, I just kind of moderate it and make sure nothing super offensive gets posted, and if it does, I will delete it, especially like if any derogatory terms are put up. You know, you got to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
And I have messaged people and be like, hey, I'll leave that post up, but just kind of watch it.
What's the line for you?
I can't have anything racist,
yeah,
sexist, homophobic, anything like that. That's gonna.
And that you know it when you see it. It's not like you don't have some that are like on the edge a little bit.
I mean, if it's on the edge, I'll take it off because
yeah,
I'll.
How do you feel about like not in my backyard stuff? People complaining about like affordable housing areas and stuff like that.
The house I grew up in was Section 8.
I guess sorry, to clarify what I'm asking, how do you feel about posts about those
Right,
things?
exactly.
Yeah.
But like the NIMBY thing,
yeah,
I don't understand it at all. If my neighbor is flying a MAGA flag, which I don't agree with, mm-hmm. Cool, whatever. You're labeling yourself as someone I don't want to interact with, whatever. Freedom of speech, cool. Facebook is not your street. It's an internet page. You know, I can delete that. I can't delete my neighbor's opinions or whatever, but I can delete it from my page.
That is so fascinating to me.
Why is that?
You're right that it is their yard. That's true. I guess the legality is totally out of it. Like, we're not talking about legality, but in terms of like judgment calls, and I don't even really disagree. It's not a point of disagreement. It's just like I'm fascinated by the idea that the internet would be more locked down than your front,
than your public,
than your street.
Yeah.
That there would be, because it is interesting, like the complaint you often hear is that on the internet, you can say anything and get away with it, especially when you're anonymous.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have to look your neighbor in the eye, you are less likely to say crazy stuff.
Well, I mean, they could say whatever they want to say on their own Facebook, on their stream, or on their whatever, but on mine, no. And you know what? Fine, call me out for being censorship or whatever. But I'm going to do what I can to keep my page community based and equal. But as far as the NIMBY, the not my backyard,
I guess the question is, do you think of that as racist? Does it have to be explicitly racist to be right? Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some undertones sometimes with the NIMBY stuff.
That's a hard one. So there is that project that's proposed right down here on 25, mm-hmm. The low income, and I will let that go. And honestly, a lot of these posts kind of work themselves out. People will argue in there, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because, let's get a debate going rather than just someone post it and, nothing happens. I'd rather have something controversial pop up and give a space where people can talk.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't lead to any extreme hatred, which luckily I haven't really seen. People will start calling each other racist or, income biased when it comes to like that project down there.
Yeah.
But it's also their community, so they do get a say. I'm so for that project being built because the community needs to grow. And, I mean, I'm as white as can be, and I was low-income housing and food banks and all that. So some people need to help up.
There's this chicken or the egg question with the internet a lot of times where some people will argue that the internet encourages hatred, like you talked about. Like it makes problems worse.
Right.
I'm curious, like from your vantage point, have you seen one way or the other? Have you seen like that, okay, this is actually just people posting things they already feel and now they're dispelled and they're out there and it can be addressed like you talked about?
Right.
Or have you seen like things blow up to the point where they're resulting in dividing lines? The reality I'm coming from a little bit is like I have seen on the internet on a national level, there's no question that the internet has worsened a lot of the political and social divides we're experiencing.
Yeah.
I think what I find really fascinating, I guess I'm answering your question for you. What I find really fascinating about this group is that it almost feels like it's doing the opposite. where I don't see a lot of people like disconnecting from one another because of this group. Not that I would know, but
Right.
it just feels like, it doesn't feel like it's creating this political divide in our town necessarily.
Yeah, I don't really think it is. I don't think any families have split up because of the complaint page.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten in arguments with friends on there over, maybe not the NIMBY stuff, but, just random things. And I guess sometimes it's just better to know where your friends are, you know, where their morals lie. And, sometimes it's just nice to know what not to bring up at Thanksgiving.
That is so true. That is very true. I find myself like, I've experienced like different versions of this dynamic, and I think every person is different. It's not even like a level of growth, personal growth. It's like just where you're at your season. And sometimes like it's good to know where a person's at so you can avoid talking about that stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes it's good to know where a person's at so you can avoid them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to know so that you can talk to them about it.
Right.
And say, hey, I saw that on the Facebook group.
Right.
And I think all of those things are really valuable. Incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
It's almost, it's like a really interesting.
It can be therapeutic
going
on there and just kind of letting your thoughts fly. Again, that's kind of why I like the anonymous posts.
Really? Yeah. Man, I haven't like ranted on the internet in a long time.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time on Twitter.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've done it?
I will post just big, long, dumb posts, and I don't know where it comes from.
Your Facebook feed in general. I think I'm friends with you on Facebook, and you'll post some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really complain. I mean, I've got an amazing wife. I never thought I'd be a homeowner.
Yeah.
I have 2 silly dogs, and I get to play with bikes for a living. So my complaint is like, healthcare sucks.
Yeah, it's mostly political. I feel like what you're posting.
Yeah, for the most part. I also like to
and
post
on your own
dumb things
page,
about,
not necessarily in the.
I don't
group.
post on the complaint page much.
Okay, why not?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't have much to complain about.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Nothing like close to home to complain about.
I mean, my wife likes to volunteer me for things. She's
so annoying.
She's on the board for the boardwalk shops, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go clean up the boardwalk shops this weekend." It's like, all right.
Yeah. Bracing
but that's
yourself.
fine. I actually do enjoy helping her out where I can, especially over there.
Yeah.
So my complaints about Batavia are so minimal. Like I wish we had another bridge, but I don't want to see the river getting demolished or interfered with. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This episode of Area Code Batavia is brought to you by 212 Degrees Construction Group. Maybe you live in an older home here in Batavia, one of those houses with good bones and great local history. But you also know the reality of living with shortcuts taken by previous owners. There's that feeling you have of they did the upgrade, but they definitely cut corners. Of course, we'd like to make some upgrades of our own in our house. We have this vision of turning our back porch into a sunroom, a place where I can sit at my desk surrounded by trees and the sounds of nature and actually get some kind of work done in the sunlight. But we've hesitated. We're not big fans of those high-pressure contractors who want you to sign right now for a today-only discount. And it always leaves us wondering, are these people actually invested in my home, or do they just want to check? That's why I'm glad that 212 Degrees Construction is right here in town. They're a Batavia-based business, and most importantly, they're not interested in patchwork solutions. Their primary concern is a job well done. When you talk to the people at 212 Degrees Construction Group, there's no pressure, and they handle the permits and the headaches so that you don't have to. They're the people you call when you're tired of thinking about doing something someday, and you're ready to get things done right. If you're ready to turn your dream home upgrade into a reality, or just fix that one room that's been driving you crazy, go to 212dcg.com or click the link in the show notes.
I was going to ask about common complaints and where you stood on them.
Yeah.
Can I do
Okay.
that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so the bridge, the second bridge, you're anti?
I would love to see it. I don't know where it would happen and how much effect it would have. I guess what I would say to a second bridge is go buy a bicycle. Ride a bike.
Yes. There is a second bridge if you buy a bicycle.
There is,
and also you don't need a second bridge.
Yeah, and we have plenty of them at Mill Race, even though it's Geneva.
Do you feel like traffic is bad in Batavia?
I never really interact with it. No.
Okay, you don't drive through Batavia.
Well, I work in Geneva, and I start work at 10.
Yeah.
From time to time, I do get stuck in that, through downtown at 5 or whatever.
Right.
But it goes so quick.
Yeah.
So
when people complain about it in like a substantial way, I'm like, I don't think you've been anywhere else.
Right.
I feel like I've lived in cities and towns where it's way worse.
You live 2 miles from work and you're driving, and if you're going to be stuck in the car, just turn on this excellent podcast. And,
exactly.
Just, enjoy the quiet time away.
That needs to be our campaign. We need to put a sign up somewhere. There needs to be billboards.
Traffic sucks. Turn on the podcast.
We need a billboard people can complain about.
Yeah.
And then I'll just put a big sign.
Put a QR code.
Are you mad about traffic? You're wrong. But anyway, listen to this podcast.
Yeah. If you're mad, go on the complaint page, vent about it, and then turn on the podcast.
Exactly. We can get a partnership going.
Yeah. I don't know how to monetize from the complaint page, but that would be fun.
Yeah, you could do that. Sponsorships.
All right. What other complaint?
I'm trying to think. I didn't make a list. I just came up with this idea out of nowhere.
The mattress stores. I don't think there's that many anymore.
Chicken stores,
chicken.
mattress stores.
Yeah.
Is that valid?
It's silly, but I honestly only know of the one mattress store over by Campana, and I guess I'd rather complain about Campana being empty than the mattress store that occupies part of it.
Okay, so that's the other one, empty storefronts.
Yeah.
That's one we hear a lot, especially now.
It really sucks. I loved every place that opens up on River Street.
Yeah.
Seeing Pal Joey's go out was, that kind of hit us hard to home. My wife and I, when we first started dating, we'd always go to Bar Evolution, and, we had our favorite bartenders there. And that went under, which really sucked because it was a fun little cocktail bar.
Right.
And then Pal Joey's went, and all those places sitting empty. It's really a shame because it's a cool little area, but the empty storefronts, it gets a lot of negative posts, especially towards BEI, and most of the places that are attacked or the units that are sitting open aren't even BEI.
Yeah.
It's just such a big name here that it's the easy.
It's the default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those places on River Street are BEI.
So the full disclosure here is that your wife works for BEI.
She does,
and I have had them as a sponsor in the past. So we just have to say that right
now.
But there's other landlords out there.
There are.
Yeah, and they also have an impact on some of this stuff.
Part of me being a good husband is I'll go with my wife to these places that are empty, and she walks around, takes pictures, and puts them up. And when a tenant leaves, they go in there and they clean it up. Like the DuPage cabinet place or countertop place that's right over there on 31. Mm-hmm. I just walked through that the other day, and it's cleaned up, and it looks amazing. And that's all BEI. They do what they can. Yeah. But the places on River, I've heard, are the rents being skyrocketed and kind of forcing out the tenants. And I've heard the rumor that they want a bigger company to come buy them out.
Okay, they're holding out a little bit.
Yeah, that's just what I heard. I don't know enough about this stuff.
It's hard to know. You can never know the inside mechanics fully.
Right.
My experience, and again, super biased. Both of us are super biased here. But when I ask about an area that is annoying me, it's usually it's another landlord. It's someone else.
Yeah.
I'm rarely frustrated about, anyway, that's kind of a rabbit trail. Man, running a city is complicated. One of the things that comes to light, I think, on your group is how complicated some of these things are.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The things that people will complain about.
Yeah. The bike ramp that's being built right there on River, that was a huge debate on there. And
because why?
Just because it was TIF money, which I'm not 100% sure how all that works. But I guess you have to use it or it goes away, kind of, one of those weird things. And using it to build a bike ramp under the bridge instead of something else, that was a big debate. And same with that housing project at the old quarry. That's also, I believe, TIF money. Those are both big debates that get posted on there, and a really good discussion gets going on those, which I really like. I like when people, the silly posts are great, it keeps people on the page and interacting, but when something gets on there and people actually start talking and discussing, and I've learned a lot from those pages or from those posts. That's what I really like, is when there is a thoughtful post.
Yes. Can I make an observation?
Yes.
So there's you on the internet.
Yes.
and there's you in real life.
Yeah.
And I even feel you in this conversation, like some sort of distancing yourself a little bit. I don't know if that's an overstatement, but like it feels like you have like a lowercase demeanor compared to uppercase demeanor on the internet.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me because I think it's an example of like how that can go on the internet. Like for you, what's the reason for that distinction? Or do you agree?
I like to listen. Maybe that's the thing.
Oh,
I'll sit there and I'll read all the posts and I won't interact. I feel like you really shouldn't say something unless there's substance behind it. Ignore all my mean girl posts and, yeah. I mean, for a long time I would post Rebecca Black's Friday every Friday. I think I had that for like 10 years straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but substance is more important than just content, Yeah, so I just think listening is a better skill than talking.
So the last episode that will have gone up before this is the Boardwalk Shops.
Yeah.
And a big theme, for me at least, that I took away from the Boardwalk Shops was the value of like humanizing things.
Yeah.
Humanizing retail in that case, right? Like
Right.
you're buying things from real people that were made by real people.
Yeah.
The internet, and in particular Facebook and those sorts of things, can have an effect of dehumanizing people.
Yeah.
Have you struggled with that possibility or reality as you've managed this?
Like seeing a post and just being able to...
Seeing like these people do not see each other as people.
Right.
They're neighbors, but they're not recognizing that in this moment.
I guess I haven't struggled with that.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the people that post on my page are people I actually know.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I think it helps if you know the people who are posting.
Yeah.
Half of these people, at least, most of the people probably on your group, I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So half of them, I'm like eye rolling at them.
Yeah.
And the other half, I'm like, those are just internet people.
There's so many posts that go on, and I've never seen them.
Yeah.
Before I came here, I kind of scrolled, and I told one of my friends that I was going to be on a podcast today, and I've known him since grade school, and he didn't even know the group existed. He doesn't live in Batavia now. But
Okay, yeah.
I told him what the group was about, and he's like, "Oh, it's a Karen page."
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah, I guess you could call it that." So then I scrolled through, and I sent him a couple, and some of them were like the Dunkin' Donuts one. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, I sent him the River Street one, and he knows because last time he was in town, we walked River Street, and he's like, "Why is it so dead?" And over there by where Rosati's is, that whole storefront is dead. Mm-hmm. Well, now there's another liquor store. That's another big complaint is how many liquor stores there are.
Yep.
And then I saw now there's going to be a
boba
like
shop?
a boba shop. In
Big
there.
deal for us. That's huge.
Yeah, I'd love anything. I want White Hen back in there.
Yeah,
When
that'd
I
be
was
nice.
a kid, we'd go there and you could get like a handmade sandwich.
Can I say
Great.
something nice about the liquor store, though?
You could say a lot of nice
I
things
was
about
not
liquor, and I'll
excited to
agree.
see. I feel like this is like I'm going out on a limb saying anything about any of this.
Yeah.
Because I hate being controversial on the podcast and in public.
Yeah.
But in theory, like I have a personality that enjoys it. And again, like in the Twitter era, in like peak Twitter,
Yeah.
I was doing that. Like I was being controversial on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was going crazy.
I thought you meant you were drinking.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I was going controversial on Twitter. The liquor store, in theory, I was not excited to see it there because there's one over here and there's one over here,
Yeah.
and I can walk to both of them.
Right.
But we went recently. It is just a convenience store with beer and liquor. I went with my kids, and it was great, and they were nice, and they had just as much stuff, if not more, than 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And they had slushies. It's a marketing problem. If it is a marketing problem. I think they actually want to market themselves as a liquor store, while also having plausible deniability of like, also you can bring your kids here if you really want.
Yeah, I went in there early on, and it looked like
A liquor store?
Yeah, mostly. But the guy behind the counter asked me if there was anything I was looking for that I can't find around here, and I'm like, well, no, there's an abundance. So
yeah, we've got plenty.
Yeah, he wanted notes on what he could do to be a better liquor store or convenience store. Yeah, I've only been in there the once, but that is one of the big complaints is you can't walk 10 stores without one serving liquor and yeah.
Did you ever have a moment where you completely questioned whether you should have started the group in the first place? Never?
No.
That's shocking to me.
Why?
I mean, I would have thought at least from a legal perspective, you would have been like, can I let that happen?
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I don't
You
care.
haven't encountered any of that?
No. There were times where people would start getting heated, and somebody said that their conflict with each other resulted with a cop showing up at their house. But
Wow.
that's because things got moved over to like direct messages and stuff like that.
That was on them.
That was on them, yeah. And the person I'm referring to, I'm sure a lot of the people on the page will know exactly who I'm talking about. And that's kind of why I started the secondary page.
Okay,
Yeah, so as long as some of these people just have a place where they can, like, angry post a meme, I feel like that kind of takes the heat off of me. There are quite a few admins on that page, too, and they do a lot to keep things quiet and approving posts or members.
So the post has to be approved before it's posted.
I think I have most of that turned off, but I think if it contains certain words, it will. For a while, just jokingly, we had stink bug as a term, which I haven't really seen many of those lately, but that was one. And anything with cleaning ducts.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of spam bots that want to clean your air ducts. So
yeah, oh my gosh.
That's one of our member questions.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't.
Why? I've never understood why like these specific industries will get
right. I think it's just an easy one where some people fall for it. So it's just like, one of our member questions, and then the zip code.
It's also I've never in my life thought I need someone to clean my ducts.
I don't have ducts. I don't
even know if I have ducts. What has running the Facebook group taught you about yourself?
That I have too much time.
Really?
No. I mean, like I said, I have other admins and moderators, and once you get all the parameters set, it's not that big a deal. When it first started, and especially during COVID, like when I was getting like hundreds of people joining a day, going through and approving all the memberships, that was a pain.
So now, COVID happens, and you get this avalanche of new members.
Yeah, and so obviously right when it started, you get a lot.
When did you start it?
Oh man, probably like 2017.
2017. So 3 years, then COVID.
Roughly, yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I was still working at that bike store, right, or where that bike store used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, then COVID started. Got a lot of members in because everyone's at home playing on their phones and stuff.
Yes.
That is definitely when I started the secondary page. 'Cause so many political things.
What have you learned about yourself through all of that?
When you're running a Facebook page or anything like that, you just got to put people that you don't necessarily agree with everything on, to help moderate it. So relying on other people's.
So you have sort of like an ideologically diverse group of moderators.
I would say so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
One of our admins, a couple of them aren't even in Batavia right now. They don't live here anymore. But yeah, you can't agree with everyone on anything. Otherwise, life's going to be boring. Yeah.
Do you find yourself bored with people you agree with?
On paper,
or agreeable people?
Yeah, like if you're just going to sit there and go, yeah, that's good, back and forth, it's not going to be a good time. Like I said, you need some rough edges. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really interesting to talk to you because, like, even leading up to this conversation, I thought to myself, this is definitely the riskiest podcast I've done, in a way. There's a lot of different versions of risk, right?
Yeah.
So I've had other risky versions of podcasts, but, like, this is one where I don't know that, like, it almost flies in the face of what this podcast is in some ways.
Yeah.
Because and not on purpose.
Right.
Like, I have struggled for a while with, like, is this podcast too milquetoast, positive, whatever? And to some degree, talking to you is like a quick fix for that.
Okay.
Like, or at least like a level set of like, just to be clear, I think complaints can be valuable. And I do think like I've flirted with that a little bit in, like our year-end episode where we talk about the top news stories. I had some things to say that were not blatantly positive.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, like the template is, here is someone that I think is cool. And here's me talking about them and why they're cool. And now here I'm letting them talk and saying they're cool to their face.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've struggled with that.
So you're saying I'm uncool?
I'm saying you run something that calls people uncool or calls things uncool.
Yeah.
That allows people, gives people the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Again, I find that to be really valuable and important for local.
I'm glad the page kind of turned out the way it did, as opposed to like my original kind of Jeopardy post anything you want.
Like silly thing. Yeah.
Because, sometimes you need to vent and before things boil over, and if you can go online and rant for a minute or two and then walk your dog or take a bike ride and just kind of get it off your head and get it out there in the open and then walk it off, great.
It's interesting, like the way you frame that. I do wonder if things have been prevented, controversies have been prevented because of that group.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say like, the what to complain about in Batavia or things to complain about in Batavia has prevented all out class warfare in Batavia. No, it's I don't know. It's probably
I've seen it clarify things, right? People post about things and then either they are handled or they're addressed. Yeah. They're clarified or whatever. Like people will say, actually, it's this or whatever.
The discussion forum is definitely what I would prefer as opposed to arguments. Get it out there, get going.
And we don't have like a robust media in Batavia. We have me and we have Kane County Chronicle and we have Sam Kraft at Tri-City Central.
Yeah.
Those last two are not Batavia specific.
Right.
And I am not like hardcore investigative journalism.
Yeah. So it's me and you.
And then there's, and I'm curious how you feel about this. There's like Our Batavia, Our Government or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, I find, it has a similar effect where people can kind of talk about things and get clarity and stuff like that.
Yeah, like all those accesses to any information, a lot of those pages get shared over. So, they'll see something on there and they'll share it to my page and it'll get things going. So, I mean, the more the merrier. I don't see them as like competition because, like I said, I'm not making money off any of this.
People subscribe to all kinds of those too.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm more competing with podcasts than Facebook groups compete with each other. I feel like.
There's a guy in Batavia. He started Bat Shirt Crazy. He makes stickers.
Yes.
I messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, we gotta collaborate.
Who is that guy? Do you know him?
He sent me his name and number, and
I feel like I should know.
I always see him posting pictures from here, sturdy, and I'm like, I should probably meet this guy, and we should figure something out. And I used to make T-shirts for bands and flyers for bands.
Yeah.
And I used to be kind of good at that stuff. But then he's like, we should collaborate. And I just full on writer's block. I'm like, I don't even know what I would make. Just like Batavia's number 3 complainer or something. Just make a bunch of stickers.
Yeah. I feel like I've asked you a lot of questions that have invited you to articulate anxiety about something.
Yeah.
And you've been like, no, I'm not worried about that.
I'm not a very anxious person.
But what keeps you up at night? What do you actually worry about? You've got to worry about something.
Bills.
Okay,
healthcare. Like I said, I worked in a factory for 8 years. I was at Burgess in Geneva. And now I'm at Millrace. And when I left the factory, I lost my really good benefits. But second shift's just not healthy to be on it that long.
Yeah.
So, I do have healthcare and all that now. But it's also like, oh, man, they had great retirement. Am I ever going to be able to retire? But
yes.
Like, did I make the right move switching careers? And, I'm doing what I love now. And, honestly, my biggest anxiety is making sure everything in my control is taken care of. Mm-hmm. I can't control what happens with that housing development. I can have my voice all day long. And all these people on my page, they have their voices. They can do what they want. They can say what they want. But, it's kind of like putting on your own oxygen mask before anybody else's. It's like, you got to make sure you're all right.
Yeah.
You're home, what you can do, and you just got to take a breath and realize it's like, it's out of my control, so.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I can't say that I get really anxious about.
So you don't think about I'm telling you, I'm not asking you.
Yeah.
You do not think about the impact that your group has really all that much. You certainly don't worry about it.
I don't worry about it, and I'm glad people have a place to vent. And
also, there's like a interesting distinction between the way we're thinking about your group.
Yeah.
To me, the value is what people reading it can get out of it.
Yeah.
Whether you're putting something in there and then reading the comments and getting some clarity, or you're a business or someone who needs to hear how people are feeling. Because there are like underserved people, minority groups, lots of different people who feel negative feelings that don't feel safe to share them.
Right.
And even with the anonymous post, like that's an argument in favor of that.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you're talking about venting a lot.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me.
Well, I'm happy people aren't on there venting about racist people or anything like that. I mean, hopefully that's because we don't have a abundance of that in Batavia.
Yeah.
I know here at Sturdy, there's been so many like group talks about, minorities, and I come to whatever I can, and, LGBTQ, all that stuff here. And at the church there on 31. You know, and, I mean, even the mayor raises the pride flag every year down there. Like, that's all just, again, it's a sign of like, hey, this is a welcoming community.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of the big redneck MAGA trucks riding through downtown. When that stuff arises, it is a spectacle. And I love that it's a spectacle, because if it was the norm, then it would be really messed up. Then I might be a little anxious, and you know, I get mad. You know, I get really angry at dumb things like that.
Yeah,
I shouldn't. You know, I'm not one of those people that let's own the libs or anything like that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, if you poke at me enough, though, I might poke back.
It's funny, like the venting thing is fascinating, because I do vent.
Yeah.
And this is not a value thing, judgment. I don't do it online.
Yeah.
I'm terrified to do it online. And I think it would make me more mentally unwell than it would help. I vent to my wife.
Yeah.
And sometimes to my friends.
Yeah.
And it is very unhinged.
Right.
Like, I get unhinged when I rant.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling of like, I like to vent.
Yeah. I love to vent.
Do you vent? But are you venting more online or with the people around you?
Well, probably more in person. I mean, I got a lot of people I can vent to in different professions. So it's like one of my best friends, he works in public health. He worked for the CDC during COVID and, you know, all this hantavirus stuff. Yeah. I'll message him and get his opinion. And I like to vent and allocate it in the appropriate places.
Right, yes.
So my buddy who's a carpenter, I was like, man, this, you know, my deck is getting twisted and the wood is rotting. Yeah. So I'll vent to him, hoping for constructive criticism, or maybe it's like, oh, Joe, you're getting frustrated. Let me take over. You know, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you think okay? So here's like a big defining question. Do you think that Batavia has a lot to complain about compared to other places?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know another big thing people complain about is the bag tax.
Yeah, the bag tax. I forgot about that one. Yes. That's big.
Yeah, it's big, but what is it, like 10 cents a bag?
The things that Batavians complain about are always petty. They're not always, but usually petty.
Now
like,
they're going to complain about you calling it petty.
I hope so, because that's petty.
If people are going to be mad at you about complaining about the bag tax, and that's their big concern, like, oh man, breathe easy.
It is like amazing the amount of, like, the traffic is a great example. I have to sit there at the stoplight twice before it turns green again, and then I can go through it. Like, that's traffic in Batavia.
So where I work, I'm right at 38 and 25 in the construction there. It's supposed to be like, I think all year, all next year, and customers have asked me, like, is the traffic hurting your business? It's like, no. They're like, why not? I was like, because they're sitting in their car, they're looking at a bike store thinking, man, I'm stuck in my car. It sure would be fun to be out on a bike.
So it's a great ad for bikes.
These cars stuck downtown, you know, like say you're stuck in front of McDonald's should be like, oh great, this guy's sitting in their car and he's like, man, a nice cold milkshake sure would be nice. And maybe they turn in there, grab some nuggets and a milkshake. I mean, right at the boardwalk shops, that's a congested spot. And I'm hoping that a lot of those boardwalk shops are like getting more visual, you know, just people seeing them, and because the light sucks. And because the people
Let's make it worse.
But I mean, you got to look for the good and the bad, I guess. So, the politics on that page, when people complain about, like, oh, Mayor Shelkey's been in office for too long, it's like, but since I've been a kid here, so much has happened. Like, Sturdy's here now, and the boardwalk shops, and, I mean, even the new Walgreens building. Like, it's changed a lot. For what we have, the space that we have available, it's gone upscale so much. I feel, at least you know, since I was a kid. So the complaints seem so small and
valid, but small.
Valid but small. If they want to go on there, and like I said, most of them are just kind of pokey, fun, silly things. People complaining about their lawn or their neighbor's lawn not being mowed, or whatever.
I am fundamentally against complaining about your neighbor's lawn not being mowed.
Me too.
I complain about my neighbors mowing their lawn too early.
Me too.
In the spring. That really gets my goat.
Luckily, my neighbors and I are pretty much on the same schedule. I'm actually really blessed with good neighbors, and I knew them before I even bought the house. So when he mows his yard, like for the longest time, when he would mow his yard, he would just hop over and do my front yard too. Until he realized that I'm more than willing to do it. But he took care of my yard for a long time, at least the front.
Do you think I should post on your on your group?
Why not?
I'm scared, and also
So
I'm like
post
not.
anonymously.
I don't feel. I just don't feel like a.
What would your
I
biggest-
read it all the time. I actually really, for all the reasons I've talked about, find it really valuable to read.
What would your complaint be?
What would
that
probably
they haven't
have-
asked us if we need a refill on beers?
They're scared to interrupt our recording. They're being nice. I'm sure I would have something. I'm scared of hurting people's feelings is one of the things. I have all the problems I just articulated. I'm scared of being too polite. I need to be I don't know. I'd like to be liked.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And I feel like I also have a keen awareness of how complicated everything is.
I think you're overthinking it.
That is a trait of mine.
I mean, but it could also be one of those things where you open that jar, you can't close it.
Right. That's also a fear, I think. Okay, last question.
Sure.
To you, what does it mean to belong in Batavia, Illinois?
I think I've pretty much answered that with just helping out everyone where we can, volunteering at whatever we can. I think everyone in Batavia should utilize the bike path and the river more, getting outside a little bit more often, walking through downtown. People who complain about the empty storefronts and all that stuff shouldn't complain if they're never visiting all these places that are already there.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to see more of these places close, go visit them. Even if you don't buy anything, you might see something that somebody else might like and you can mention it.
Yeah.
So, it's, neighbors helping neighbors. And
I like the idea that one way to belong in Batavia is to address the complaints you have. Actually work to solve them.
Yeah, if you want to be in Batavia, you have to complain more.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think there's two postures, right? There's the sitting back and being mad, and then there's the getting involved.
Right.
And you can actually be mad and get involved.
Yeah,
so
and
people don't know that.
Nothing's going to change if you don't let your voice be heard.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like people who don't vote and get mad about the results of an election. You have to do something.
You got to do all of them.
Yeah, and
I think people miss that. People like to talk about doing something, or people like to talk about it. But you actually do need to do all of those things.
And as much as I really appreciate a good listener, listen, get the facts, voice your opinion, and then shut up. Or maybe not. Talk if you want, but it's say something of substance. That's that's a good way to get things done.
Yeah.
Because why not? Talking is free, messaging is free, all that texting, calling, use your voice.
Thanks for listening to Area Code Batavia. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. If you enjoy this podcast, why not subscribe to our newsletter? Just click the link in the show notes and put in your email address. Most importantly, if you know someone who would love to hear this podcast, please share it with them. Word of mouth is the best way to grow this community and help more people feel like they belong in Batavia, Illinois. Area Code Batavia is produced by Area Code Audio. It's hosted and produced by me, Richard Clark, with additional production help from Jennifer Clark.